weren't really allowed to bring in our own laptops or tablets to be working in class on projects. We would have to either go to the computer lab or have the cow or the computer on wheels to bring into class. And even when we did do that, the Wi-Fi wasn't always working, because when we would bring in the computers for us all to be working with, it would be incredibly slow and not everyone would be able to get logged on. And so that was a difficulty that we had last year with technology.
So really what we just saw is that we just needed to come up with a strategic plan to get everybody up onto the same level and the same page as far as being able to use technology in their classroom. And so we really just found that what we needed was just really focused ongoing training on how to integrate technology into the classroom, as well as, you know, what are some tools available that can do that in a real practical manner and get the students using the technology and really get up to speed of where they really need to be when they graduate.
I know, at least between the two of us, like, we're debate partners, and so I have a Surface, and now that we're able to use that, there's a lot more applications to that, especially when we were doing debate. Then we had Dropbox that we could use.
So we can share files, so I could pull stuff up on my phone or have my laptop and we'd be able to have the same files out with Dropbox, so that was helpful.
And so we looked at everything from K-12 and came up with just a training plan so that the teachers, by the end of the year, every teacher would be aware of enough tools, of enough techniques, so that they can now really, going into next year, really ramp it up. And they've done a great job of being open-minded, of being willing to try new things in the classroom, and it's been just fantastic to see.
And something that's been great this year is Power School, the lesson plans that are on it. We are able to go in and look at what the teacher is doing every day and what I've missed. And then also in, for example, band, we have a specific website for our band, and on there are the makeups that we have to do, and then we email them to our teacher, Mr. Pakamara, and so that's very helpful because I don't have to try and find out what I'm supposed to be doing, go in, get the sheet, bring it home, work on it. I'm able to do it all from my house and then have it the day that I get back.
In the meetings that we've had, we've been brought up to date in terms of the progress that they're making, where they're at in terms of the investment that's been made so far and what they need in the future to be able to continue this. The first wave was, again, we needed that investment to be able to build a foundation, and now the faculty's done a very good job of getting them up to speed in terms of how they leverage the technology. And into the future, now we can start adding the second layer, the communication, the ability for documents to be shared online, so we can minimize the amount of time teachers and students are spending trying to shuffle papers back and forth.
A SkyDrive capability, which is where you save it onto a SkyDrive, and it's an internet-based storage unit for technology. So if I save a paper onto SkyDrive, I can get that. If I don't necessarily have my Surface or something happens, I can still access everything on a different computer, or on a different school computer or a home computer. So it's always accessible, and it's definitely just made everything a lot easier.
What the new technology that we're looking at will help students be able to do is, if you look at our student rate of involvement, we have about 90% of our students involved in extracurricular activities, and they have a lot of times where you have 10 minutes here, 15 minutes, 30 minutes for transitioning. And where we're at now with our bring our own device and with the web presence and the learning management system, students can use those thin pieces of time to connect, and they can connect with the teachers in ways that really you couldn't connect before. It used to be you connect with your teacher during class or after school, right after class, if you have some support that you need. Right now, our students are so busy, they're doing so many activities outside of the classroom, which matches with our mission of teaching the total person, that they need to be able to use technology in a way that's similar with how everyone outside of schools is using technology, and that means integrating into school activities 24/7 if need be. And the learning management system will allow students to interact directly with teachers, access resources teachers are placing online in a way that really we've never been able to do before.
And then also in physics, we are doing a flipped classroom model right now, which it has a lot to do with technology, where we watch all of our lectures online.
From the students themselves, they've come and told me, because they can view the lecture whenever they want and at whatever pace they want. I'll have their whole chapter video out section by section. They can watch every chapter at individual sections on their own time, on the bus, in the library, before class, at home. If they don't want to do it at home specifically, they can do it wherever they want to. Then they come in here and they have a list of activities that they need to complete before the exam in, let's say, in 2 weeks. And for each vodcast that they do, they have an activity, either homework or a lab or something.
It's really different, but I like it a lot. It's a change, and I think it's a good one. It works a lot.
A lot of teachers are finding different programs to use that are more internet-based or more interactive that way, where they understand that this is what we're using already. So it's just more of a way that we're able to connect with the teachers, and they're able to actually teach us.
Technology has changed greatly in the many years since I've been teaching at Nativity. When I first started, we had a grade book, and I had to start adding the scores in with a calculator. Now we have a program that's automated for grade keeping. So that really enhances the grade, because you can type in the grades and it's given a perfect example where anybody is at any given time.
We use our iPads for centers every day, and we use them for math centers and for reading centers. They're especially helpful at the beginning of the year when they're learning letter sounds, because then they can hear the sounds.
And I think just overall technology has brought us all closer together, because we're able to stay in touch more, and it makes everything that much more meaningful when we are in person and able to talk to one another.
What we want to do is we want to make technology so integrated into the learning environment that it's so seamless that students aren't looking at using their device or using a laptop or going to the computer lab as doing anything out of the normal, that they'll be so focused in on the content that they're learning or the processes or the communication, that those are really the key 21st century skills. And the technology is there, but it's almost in the background because it's working so seamlessly. And that's the end game, is to get the infrastructure, the devices, the learning management system in place, the software. So that's all there, but it's not there to exist. It's there to support learning.
You know, the greatest wish I have for my children coming out of the school system is not only what we all want as parents, you know, the learning of faith and how faith applies to what they're learning, but as it relates to this initiative, is they have to be prepared. The workforce and where business is going is continuing to become faster, more complex, and as a student within JP2, they have to be able to keep up. So the advantage of students going to JP2 is the faculty and the great faculty staff that they have, the faith-based learning, but moving into the business world is they have to be at or have an advantage to other students that are coming out, and I think investments that we're making now is what's going to make that happen.